Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Fight CPS with Mike Bartz. And this is the tactics, traps, and tricks of CPS. Good morning. I hope everybody's doing well. Remember, I'm not a lawyer. I never pretended to be one. Didn't even sleep at a Holiday Inn Express, so I have no idea what being a lawyer is about. Let me recommend, if you are in a bad situation, that you find yourself a good lawyer. I know they're expensive, but I mean, they're worth their salt if they're any good at all. If they have any compassion whatsoever, they will help you. But anyways, long weekend for me. I mean, I had my daughter all weekend, actually starting on, let's see, Wednesday last week. I ended up having my daughter all weekend long. Bless her heart, she was sick, and mom didn't want her going to daycare, so dad got her, which I don't mind. I mean, it's actually a lot of fun. I enjoy being with her, of course. Yeah, so Friday was Friday the 13th. Bad day. I mean, I just don't like Friday the 13th. It's never been a good day for me and never will be. But anyways, let's go ahead and get into this, and let's talk about some of the CPS tactics, traps, and tricks. If you have any, go ahead and put them in the comments, and I'll be watching the comments to see if you have any suggestions or any ideas. But I hate to keep reiterating and keep saying stuff over and over and over. But one of the first things that you got to learn is do not get involved with these people. Do not talk to them. Do not open the door. Do not try to outsmart them, because they have some tricks that you don't have and you can't use. They are not opposed to lying. They will lie on you in a heartbeat. They will manipulate the system to make you look worse than what you are. So just don't even get involved with them, because you can't compete on their level. One, you are a normal human being. You can't compete on their level just because you have a conscience. These people don't have conscience. These people don't care. They don't want to care. So first things first, do not get involved with them. Brittany, Calvin, you're absolutely correct. They're grade A manipulators. They are super manipulators. They teach this stuff in their classes. I mean, you can actually look their classes up online. On everything from how they fill out the paperwork to justify jurisdiction to tactics to talk to people that have been accused of different things. They have these trees that they use, these question trees or these levels to determine whether or not they're going to continue with the case or not. But trust me, if they have set their goals or their sights on your child, those trees mean nothing. They have no boundaries. I mean, they will cross every line there is. I promise you. Number two, I don't care if they call the cops, and I don't care if they show up at the door with the cops. Do not deal with these people. Because if the cops show up and they have a warrant for your arrest, they're not knocking. They're just not going to knock them. They're just going to come straight in and grab you. So trust me, if the cops are there, they don't have a warrant, they're not coming in the door. So don't worry about it. I mean, honestly, there's nothing they can do about it. Just completely ignore them. Cops, no cops, it doesn't matter. Do not engage. Do not get involved with these people. Avoid them at all costs. Those are the first two. Those are the first two that I could suggest is one, avoid CPS, avoid cops in the CPS. But if you can't avoid them, exercise your Fifth Amendment right and tell them, look, I'm not asking, or I'm not answering any of your questions. I'm not going to incriminate myself, because every word you say will and will be used against you in court of law, and they will mix it up and they will lie about what you said. But if you give them anything to fight with, they will use it against you. So trust and believe that. Um, Brittany Calvin, my baby died in their custody. Shut up. And then they turn around and filed a TPR. That is wild. That is crazy. Brittany, I am so sorry to hear that. That breaks my heart. I'm so sorry for that. I am so sorry. Deborah, you said how do we stop the madness? This is unacceptable at all levels. 100%. 100% and unacceptable at all levels. How do you stop it? Do not engage. Do not have a conversation with these idiots, these demons. Do not have conversation with them. I mean, it's hard not to do, because they're going to accuse you, they're going to say things about you, and you're going to want to defend yourself. Don't do it. It doesn't matter what they say, as long as you don't get involved with them. And for the love of God, do not sign this. What we have here in North Carolina is called a safety plan, because that safety plan is basically a contract to take your child, because they know you're not going to be able to abide by it. So just don't. I mean, there's only one way to slow this madness down, and that you're not going to stop it. There's too much money to stop it, unless, of course, you are a fanatic, or if you think you're going to cut their funding off or something ridiculous like that, because it's not going to happen. It's too much money. Too many political hands are in the pot. Too many people's livelihoods are involved. So you're not going to cut the money off. I mean, that's a pipe dream. That's for radicals. That's for the people that are going to, do what they did back when they were trying to stop abortion and burning abortion clinics down. That's for those fools. Don't even get involved in that. It's ridiculous. Brittany Calvin, we're fighting for justice. Thank you for your sympathy, and I appreciate it. Brittany, that's not sympathy. That's heartbreak. I just can't believe that happened to you, because it was substantiated that my daughter was neglected while she was in foster care. I couldn't imagine if it went to that level. I mean, of a death of a child. I mean, I knew how I took it when I found out, and it was substantiated, and I received that letter in the mail saying that my daughter was neglected while in foster care. I couldn't imagine receiving that news. That's more than sympathy, my love. That is just pure pain for you. And as you see there, Miss Smith, Aretha Smith says, tried everything, we'll never win. We have too much against us, and no lawyers want to fight CPS. You're absolutely right. I mean, because they don't want to be exposed to the CPS rituals. They don't want to be the target of CPS. And can you blame them? Because, I mean, look at the pain that you're going through. Do you really wish somebody would fight CPS just so that they could get the same pain you have? Not on a cold day. Not on a cold day. I just wouldn't recommend it. These lawyers are avoiding at all costs. You got to remember, lawyers are officers of the court. That's their first and foremost. Raise their hand to it. Sworn in officers of the court. That means they're there to protect the court. They're there to watch after the court's good, or the court's what's the word I'm looking for here? I'm usually not a loss of words, but yeah, I mean, they're there to protect the courts. They're really not there to protect you. They're there to protect the courts. One way or another, they're going to protect the courts, whether they just outright lie to you, manipulate you, or they go into court and they speak for you, and you don't know what they're saying. You don't know what they're agreeing to. You don't know what, the continuance they're agreeing to. It's called power of attorney. But yeah, so just remember that. And these court appointed attorneys, don't even get me started on these fools. These fools, I mean, God bless them. I mean, I know they're just trying to start their careers, and I know they're just trying to, better their names or make a name for themselves. But in the process, they're paid from the same fund CPS is. And I think it's referred to as the Title IV fund. But yeah, it's all from the same fund. I mean, the court-appointed attorneys, they don't want to cut their noses off to spite their faces. They're going to take food off their plates and fight the way they're supposed to. No, they're going to keep their kids fed. They're going to keep their families fed. They're going to keep whatever fed. Their dogs or cats, their habits, whatever it is, what a lifestyle. It doesn't matter. If you think that they're going to defend you the way that you should be defended, and they're going to go against the court, you're naive. And I'm not trying to call names or point fingers or anything, but you're naive. Let's go on to another tactic or trick that CPS uses. And it annoys the bejeebies out of me. They act like they're there to help you. Don't fall for that BS. It is BS. I mean, it's BS this deep, and I'm 6'7", and it's up over my head because they're not there to help you. Don't even fall for that. They're not even close to there to help you. They're not your friend. They're not there to guide you. Oh, we're just here to give you resources. Yeah, whatever. Your resources are going to put me in the grave. They're going to humiliate you. They're going to embarrass you. And that's another trick they use, or tactic they use. They keep you on your heels. And they do that by making you feel vulnerable. They make you feel embarrassed. They make you feel guilty. They really do, whether you did something wrong or not. There's a gentleman I know and that I've talked to on our other show. His name is DJ. What a class act, DJ. He's just got a cool name and he's a cool person. But anyways, DJ had a slipper, and I guess he spanked his child with a slipper. You might as well spank your child with a feather. I mean, really. I mean, unless you're swinging that like you're trying to hit a home run. I mean, a slipper. And they took his kids for that. I mean, it's just amazing. Let's see if I can get to some of these comments. Hire Vince W. Davis now. I mean, if you can afford Mr. Davis, by all means, jump on it. If you have an opportunity to hire Vince Davis, get him working for you. Because, I mean, that man has got more strategies and has forgot more about this business than anybody on this show or commenting on this show will ever know. He's been doing it for 30-some years. The man is amazing. I mean, yes, get him on. If you can get him on your side, get him on your side. Let's see here. Got to have evidence against their hearsay. It doesn't matter. I mean, Ted, I hate to say it, and you know it as well as I do, Ted. It doesn't matter if you have evidence against their hearsay. It just doesn't matter because they're going to CYA. I mean, they're going to cover their butts at every turn, every twist. They're just going to cover their butts. And if you have any evidence against them, it just will never see the light of day. They will shut it down at every cost and every turn. And they will use your kids against you to cover it up. You know, if you have evidence and they find out you have evidence, the first thing you're going to find out, they're going to take your visitation away. And that's the only thing that you have to hold on to, is that once a week, 2, maybe 3, maybe 4 hours, if you're lucky, 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours a week, you get to visit with your own child. You get to love and kiss and hug on your own child. That's 1 day a week, and they'll take that from you if you start touting that you got evidence. They didn't. Well, you dodged a bullet then, Ted. You said the right words. May God bless them, because they'll need it most in the end. And for what is happening, these children are in the system. It's just devils. They're 100%. I mean, these are just devils at work, 100%. Also, it is really called being naive, or as just straight ignorance that comes from being appointed counsels. I agree. I mean, these court-appointed attorneys, they're characters. They really are. I had one guy. I had one court-appointed for my case, anyways. I had one court-appointed attorney. He was more concerned about setting up his criminal defense law firm, or become a defense attorney, criminal defense attorney, that he didn't even show up to my court cases. I mean, he just didn't show up. And of course, if your attorney doesn't show up, what's the first thing they did? The first thing they did was continuance. I mean, the first thing they did was they had to throw out a continuance because my attorney didn't show up. And then after I asked for another attorney, because this guy was a piece of work, or POS, they gave me another court-appointed attorney. And I don't know if any of you folks know anything about me. I'm 6'7", 300 pounds. I'm a pretty good-sized guy. But anyways, I knew I was in trouble as soon as I saw this attorney, because I walked in his office, and here he is, 5'1", maybe. And he dresses like Barney Miller in one of those old, nasty, looks like he just pulled it out of the hamper suits. The man wore slippers to court. Slippers, I mean house shoes to court. The man is a joke. But as soon as I saw him, I said, "Oh no, Napoleon, here we go." He had little man syndrome like you never seen. It was the most embarrassing thing that I ever seen. But yeah, so these guys, I can't say they're all bad. And I don't want to give you the idea that they're all bad. They just all going to follow the system. I mean, they're all going to just follow the system. And you're going to hear, you better shut up. And like I heard over and over and over, Mr. Bartz, go along to get along. If they're telling you to do this, do it. But I don't agree with it. Well, it doesn't matter. Just go along to get along. Just do it. Just do whatever they tell you to do. They're going to tell you to do this and do that. And this is what the lawyers are going to tell you. They're going to tell you to go to family planning or take family planning courses. They're going to tell you to take domestic violence courses. They're going to tell you to get checked out as far as aggression, and I'm speaking for myself because this is what they did to me. Just do it, and do it in advance. Don't even worry about it. Just do it. And it's called go along and get along. Well, I'm here to tell you, and please don't do what I did, because I made my life miserable. I fought it, and it's arrogance and cockiness and ego, I'm sure. But I fought him at every turn. And it just made my life miserable. So, I mean, the first thing they're going to tell you is go along and get along, which is not bad advice. I mean, it's really not. You got to check your ego at the door when you're dealing with these folks. If you have any principles, you might as well check those at the door too. If you have any doubts on who you are or what you are, just pack them up, because I mean they're going to use everything against you. They're going to throw everything at the wall. They're going to take you. I don't know if you see the scar on top of my head, but I had a craniotomy, and they took a tumor out of my head. And they used that against me. I mean, really, come on. They wanted a list of my medication. They wanted a list of my doctor's names. No, it has nothing to do with the case. Why do you want this? It's a craniotomy. They cut my skull open and took part of my brain out. What are you going to try and prove with that? But yeah, so they'll use everything and anything against you. Another thing they're going to do is they're going to destroy your family. And what I mean by that, they're going to put wife against husband, husband against wife, spouse against spouse, favorite person against favorite person. They're going to involve people that shouldn't be involved. They're going to send letters out to family members or people that you've connected on social media. So just be prepared. They're going to separate, divide, and conquer you. And honestly, and I walked straight into this one. I told my wife, I was like, well, they're going to give us two attorneys. Well, then hell, we might as well use both of them and see what we can get. You fight them the way you want to fight them, and I'll fight them the way I want to fight them. And if you win, then I win. And if I win, you win. Excuse me, as long as our daughter's out of foster care and away from CPS, then we win. It doesn't matter who does it, the way they do it, or the technique that they use. BS. That's by design. They want you to fall for that trap. And I did big time. Because now look at my big gumpy butt. I'm sitting here by myself talking to y'all. My wife's not here. My child's not here. So in this process, I lost my wife. I lost my child. I lost part of my brain because I had this taken out just for my wife and child, to stop the seizures, just so I could be around my child. And they destroyed it all. I mean, and it's by design, and it's a trap, and I fell for it. And then I've got some friends down in South Carolina. I call them friends. They may not call me a friend, but I consider them friends. They're a husband and wife team, and they're fighting to get their kids back, their boys back, and bless their hearts. They're doing their best to stay together, but it just seems like every turn they make, the DSS is trying to get involved. They're trying to stop them from being together. They're causing so much friction that it's devastating their family. So it's absolutely amazing. Let's see if I can get back to some of these messages. Deborah Burton. We're all human, says they're trafficking teen girls as well. Yeah, they are. Ted Howard, the judge, threw out an affidavit, a CPS affidavit, out of the first court date. Ted, I don't know who you are, but you're lucky. You walked into a pretty nice deal. But no one has that luck except for you. You must be walking around with a horseshoe in your back pocket. Deborah Burton, how can we work them like they work us? How can you work them like they work us? Great question, Deborah. And this is what I have figured out, and this is what I found out. They follow. No, Ted, you're full of BS. Evidence ain't going to do nothing. But I can tell you right now, how can you fight them the way they fight you and treat you the way they treat them, or the way they treat you, is play the system against them. Do what they do. Annotate, record everything. I mean, your visitations should be recorded. If you're having a conversation with them, that should be recorded. Everything should be recorded. And then you got to get an attorney, or you got to find some way to get that presented in court. That's really the only way you're going to fight it. You fight fire with fire. Use their handbook, use their rules against them. It's the rules they're using against you, so you might as well use it against them. So just do everything you can to, just fight them with fire. Fight fire with fire. Just go at them the way they come at you. Using their rules against them and they hate that. And they will trip up, I promise you. By hiring an attorney, I guess the one that knows CPS laws. Yeah, you're going to want to hire an attorney that has CPS law knowledge and information. You don't want to hire a traffic ticket attorney for fighting CPS. You definitely don't want to do that. And then Brittany, what's just wrong? Well, that's just wrong. Sounds like my fiance. He's had traumatic brain injury, and they defamed his character up and down in the courtroom. Oh, I know. I don't even have TBI. This was elective. I did this by myself. I chose to do this. Traumatic brain injury was not what this is, but I can show you paperwork from my very last hearing. They call it TBI. I did this. This was the most honorable thing I ever did in my life. I did this for my wife and for my daughter. The morning, the day that my daughter was born was the day I had the MRI from prior to my surgery. That's how close this was. And this is exactly how I decided to do it and why I decided to do it. And they reduced it. And I'm not trying to be negative, and I'm not trying to talk bad about your fiance, but TBI is actually a disease. It's in the medical books as a disease, and they relegated my decision down to a medical disease. Blows my mind. And I'm sorry. Was it, hey, Brittany, was it military induced traumatic brain injury, or was it outside of it? Do you have any idea? Is there anything you can share? Irma says, after I completed my parenting class and anger management, my CFT, they tried to hit me with domestic violence. They say they're all about a reunification, but they really aren't. No, actually, I was watching a show with Mr. Davis. Was it yesterday? And there's this thing where they call, and I wish I could remember what he said, but no, they have two different avenues that they're working at the same time. Reunification is what they say, and they want to adopt your child out. That's money, that's bonuses. That's just all money to them. If they can adopt your child out, if they can take your child, and every day, every service that is actually used during the course of your fight with CPS is pure bank. They just make money left hand. They just make money hand over fist. They just have all these crazy ways they make money. They make money off of recommending services. They make money off of adopting your child out. They make money by keeping your child out of your house. They don't make money by putting your child back in your house. So you have at least a minimum 6-month ride. with CPS. And I know, Howard, you're going to come out and say that it only lasted 1 week for you, and I understand that. But like I said, the normal show, the normal dog and pony show, is 6 months, and that's if you're lucky. And I'm not kidding. Darren, the guy who does the other show with me, they TPR'd him. They just outright took his daughter. I mean, bless his heart. I mean, just completely took his daughter from him, never got her back. But I also, and this is just my personal opinion, folks, stop posting pictures and stories about your children on social media. I swear they use that as a catalog. I swear they do. And they go through and they look for people that don't have the wherewithal, as far as financial wherewithal, to hire these Top Gun attorneys. These Top Gun attorneys are minimum $160,000, $180,000 just to fight these cases. And it's still going to take you 6 to 8 months to get these kids back. And that's with a Top Gun. So, I mean, it's just atrocious. So they're going to divide your family. They're going to destroy your family. They are going to pit husband against wife, boyfriend against girlfriend, girlfriend against girlfriend, boyfriend against boyfriend. They're gonna pitch everybody against everybody, and that's just the way they do, because they don't want you paying attention to what they're doing. They want you to fight a fight that you shouldn't be fighting, that you shouldn't be paying attention to. They want you to fight the fight that they want to put in front of you, and it's smoke and mirrors. It's all magic. It's watch what I did here, and I mean, watch this hand, and then they're smacking you in the back of the head with this hand. I mean, that's really what they're doing. So it's misdirection. It's just what they do, and they're good at it, folks. And I mean, they're good at it. These people do not mess around. They've been doing it for a long time. They know what they're doing. They know what they're saying. And let me give you a little clue of what they do. I mean, give you an idea of what they do. And this is an exaggeration, and I'm sure you understand it's an exaggeration. I could have said something like, I hate when my wife picks her nose and wipes it on the couch. I know that's stupid. But I mean, if you say the whole thing and you say it out loud, it's all funny. But they will record you and they will play back the part to your wife where it says, I hate my wife. Why would they do that? It's just to divide and conquer you. It's just to keep you guys on your heels. I mean, that's what they do. That's how they, and if you say it enough, and I'm sorry, and bless anybody that gets involved, because if you hear it enough, it starts to become true. If you hear it enough, it becomes true at some point. If you hear that you're stupid and you're violent and you're angry and all that, if you hear it enough, sooner or later it's going to become true. If for instance, in my case, because I was so combative in everything I did and said and even dealt with these people, they would tell my wife that he's angry. He's got anger issues. He needs classes for anger management because he's angry. I wasn't angry. I was just being passionate about my daughter and about my family. I mean, I just wasn't angry. They mistaken passion for anger. They really do. But if you get told something long enough, my wife bought right into it as much as I did. Yeah. And they gaslight you. You're the one at fault. You're the one with the anger issues. You need to get that checked out. You can't have your daughter back until you have your anger issues corrected. You know what? If I was angry, you wouldn't be standing here talking to me. Because if I was violent and if I was angry, I mean, trust me, if you're still standing here talking to me, then I wasn't angry. I wasn't violent. I was actually very accommodating. And I don't think any father, actually, I don't think any mother would disagree with that. I mean, if they say this stuff to your face and they say, well, you're just angry, you're the one that's at fault. If they do that to your face, who wouldn't want to just tear these people apart? I mean, it's got to be human nature, right? I mean, it's just, unless you're a worm, I mean, and I've known a few of those. If you're just a worm and you're just going to roll over and take whatever anybody gives you, well, then God bless you. You're a better person than me. But any human or any man or woman that is even slightly protective, they're going to sit there and tell you you're angry. No, if I was angry, this place would be burned down to the ground. And I'm exaggerating, of course, but yeah, they're just, it's not, it's just, it's just part of their game. So they're going to divide and conquer. I just go on these little rants and I'm sorry. And I just get lost, but, so they're going to divide and conquer. Like I said, they're going to pit husband and wife against each other. They're going to pit girlfriends and boyfriends against each other, mom and dads, husbands and wives, girlfriends and girlfriends, boyfriends and boyfriends. Whoever's in the relationship, they're going to pit each other against one another. And they will look at you, and they're not shy about it. You want your daughter back, you want your children back, you want your son back, get rid of that fool. Move out. Move him out. Move her out. They're not shy. They're not shy at all. They will say it in a heartbeat. If you want your child back or your children back, then you two need to separate. And just like they told me, and we will drive by and check on y'all. And we will drive by and check your house. Make sure that she's not there, that you guys aren't together, that you're not spending time together. And I have friends in South Carolina, the same people I was talking about earlier. The CPS supervisor and one of the caseworkers would literally come knock on their door at 7:00 in the morning, trying to catch them to being together. I mean, that's ridiculous. I mean, that's just ridiculous. I mean, I just don't see how that is even copacetic. I mean, that's got to be intimidating. That's got to be stalking, isn't it? I would imagine that becomes stalking at some point. But anyways, now let's go on to something that you and I really can't control. I mean, you can only hope that you control it, avert it. The only thing you can do is teach about it, talk about it, and that's your school-age children. CPS will pull your kids, your school-age children, out of their classrooms just to talk to them. I don't know how that's even possible. Thank you, Irma. I didn't realize it. I'm sitting there talking about Blue Streak and didn't realize my microphone was dead. I guess if I touch the top of it, it turns off. I gotta make sure I don't touch the top of that microphone because it just turns off. Thank you, Irma. Appreciate it. But anyways, I was talking about school-age children. I don't know how they're able to go into the classrooms and take these kids out of their classrooms and just pull them into a room by themselves and talk to them. Hell, the police can't even do that. If an officer wants to talk to an underage child, they have to have the parent there. I mean, that's my understanding. So what? So what does? So what gives these people permission to do that? And they are not shy about having that child stripped down. I mean, and we're not talking stripped down to their underwear. We're talking stripped down, naked, so they can get pictures. And these pictures will had locked me and you up, 5 days from Sunday. And they have these pictures on their phones. How's that even right? You just got to be. I can't believe I touched the top of my microphone and went out. I didn't hear about it. My producer was throwing a fit in the private chat. No audio, no audio. And then Irma saved my butt. I think I'm glad I was looking over there. But anyways, teach these school-age children that they do not have to talk to them. They do not have to talk to these people. They have the same rights that they've always had, the same rights that you have. And that's the right to remain silent. Because they're going to have to explain why they're sitting there, with a bruise on their cheek that they probably got from playing Red Rover. And they will ask leading questions. And I mean, these CPS people will ask leading questions. And if you don't know what a leading question is they give them the answer before or during the question, is basically what it is. You did say, you meant it. You meant to say, or you did mean to say, right? And that's giving them the answers before they, during the question. And these kids, I mean, bless their hearts, they just fall for it, hook, line, and sinker. And you can't blame them. You can't blame them at all. Where else are we? School-age children. So teach them to not even talk to these folks. And I know, you get into these 13, 14, 15, 16-year-old know-it-alls. They think that they know it all and they think they're going to beat these people and out-talk them. I got news for them. It ain't going to happen. Another thing I want you people to do is I want you to start spreading the word. I mean, I know it's embarrassing that your children or your child has been taken from you by CPS, but you have to share the story. And the reason why you need to share the story is, as a friend of mine, Suzanne, said in an email to me, support system. Because the more you share your story, actually, the more sympathy you're going to get. And the more support you're going to get. The more people that are going to get behind you. Because they're going to realize that it's unjust. And that, you just need more support. Get the support system, whether it's a group, 1, 2. I had 1 or 2 people from my support system. And actually it was invaluable to me because, I mean, I could bounce things off of them and, or ideas off of them. And they would tell me if I was, got my head up my butt or I was thinking right. So, I mean, have those people that you can talk to during this process. But yeah, so you gotta have that support system. Don't talk to them. Don't answer the door, cops or not. Teach your school-age children to not talk to these fools. You don't have to prove the allegations of against you are false or true. You don't have to do that. At some point, they're going to have to prove it if they want to go forward with it. But their level of evidence is down around here. Traffic tickets are up around here as far as level of proof. CPS level of proof is done around here. So they can admit hearsay. You can't. They will use hearsay. They will use guess, and they will lie, and they will manipulate, and they will CYA. Because you're going to think, they. I'll give you, for instance, CYA. My wife signed a safety plan on February 1st, right? And then they took custody of my daughter March 3rd of this year. Now, I did not get to even hear the allegations or anything against me, or any allegations made against me, until March 17th. And I had to verbally call the caseworker and invite her out to my house to talk to me, so I could find out what the allegations were. I knew nothing about the safety plan. I knew nothing about the court, or them going to court and getting custody of my daughter. I knew nothing about any of that. They never once approached me and told me what the allegations in the case were. I literally had to ask them to come out and talk to me. That was the only way I had to find out. And that was after they had already taken my daughter. They didn't talk to me about that before then. But you got into our case. Lo and behold, the supervisor and the caseworker both signed documents stating that they came out here. Like I said, my wife signed the safety plan on 2/1, and they said they came out here on 2/2 and informed me of it. But they CYA, they documented something that they said and I have a security system that notifies me via email when anybody comes onto my property. My security system sends me pictures of people when they're standing at my door. I have pictures of CPS and the cops standing at my door the day they showed up to try and take my daughter. That's just what my security system does. And I never received a single notification that anybody was on my property, let alone them on the 2nd of March or 2nd of February. Oh, let's see. Brittany Kelvin. He received a TBI from a car accident that happened in December of 2012, and our case opened in July 2018. They acted like it was a new TBI and dated it in 2017. Yeah. That is not unusual. I hate to say it, but they love, and take it from a guy who was accused of a TBI, saying he has anger issues, and they are even gone as far as saying that he's threatened their coworkers and can't comprehend the first thing about being a parent is how they're painted his injury. Brittany, I don't know what that is all about, but they did the same thing to me. Because I had brain surgery, I'm more aggressive, I'm more angry than I've ever been in my life. I got news for you. I'm more emotional than I've ever been in my life. I'm more sensitive than I've ever been in my life. Prior to my surgery, Old Yeller didn't do anything to me. The movie Old Yeller didn't faze me. I was that cold-hearted. Now I cry at TV commercials. Come on. It's ridiculous on how sensitive I am now. But yeah. And you want to talk about somebody who threatened people? I got tased because of my mouth. And we're at a safety exchange point with my daughter and my wife. They tased me. Shot me with a taser. It's crazy. It's I mean, there's no, I mean, there's just no need in that. And they said it was anger issues. I'm like, no, I told the cop to his face, I'll go to jail to kiss my daughter goodbye. And that's what I was frustrated with. I didn't get a chance to kiss my daughter goodbye. And that's all I wanted to do. I said, but you know, if you want to take me to jail, I'm willing to go. We can make this work because I'm willing to go to jail to kiss my daughter goodbye. Well, go ahead and just kiss her then. That's what I thought she said. Punk. I have complete disdain for cops, especially the sheriff department. That's, you know, our local sheriff department. I just have complete disdain for them. I have no use for them. I mean, they support CPS. They put their officers in CPS building as security. My sheriff's department kissed my butt. I don't give a cat's ass about these people. I have no respect, zero respect, zero anything for these people. I mean, I have no. There's a reason why they all have badges and they all have guns, because they're not man enough to handle life on their own. And I've always said that, and I still say that more and more more and more to this day. I have no use for these people at all. And if there's any police officers out there, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to offend you. Yeah, I am. Screw it. You're jerks. I mean, you're POSs. You have no use. You might as well quit. Especially if you support the CPS fools. Where's your oath to the Constitution, you fake son of biscuit eaters? Let's see. Deborah Burton. Yes, Deborah, you're absolutely correct. Sharing your story gets you help and support. Also, fasting and praying. I got news for you. Fasting and praying don't get you no help. I mean, it gets you something in your head, get your head straight. If that's what gets your head straight, that's great. But it's not going. I mean, sharing your story is going to get you more help than praying about it. And that's just my personal opinion. I mean, it's just my personal opinion. Amanda Horton says they took my 2, 5, 6, 11. Still have my 14 against Dad DV. 6 head bruises on his ears. Said that all the other kids looked happy and safe. Now I find out my 5-year-old sleeping at CYFD office and was shot at. Shut the front door. Are you serious, Amanda? Your 5-year-old was shot at? Brittany Kelvin. Yeah, you're a big scary monster. As we're seeing on this podcast, LOL, kidding. That's not okay. Cops just use force for anything because they're above the law. I agree, Brittany. And yes, I'm big and ugly and I'm scary. And I understand that. I mean, I'm 6'7", 300 pounds, tattoos, complete sleeves on both arms, across my chest and across my back. Yeah, I'm a big old scary man. I have a goatee and I ride a motorcycle. Big old scary guy. But this, I scared the cop even more when he tased me and I just reached down and pulled it out. It was hilarious because, I mean, he literally ran back to his squad car. I mean, I don't know what he was going for or what he was doing, but he literally ran back to his squad car. It was kind of actually humorous. Lori, Brian, Tracy. Wow. And then I got a couple smiley faces from We Are All Human. The AT has been protected. I'm trying to see if I'm missing any messages here, any questions. I just saw my microphone died again. I was like, I better not. Brittany calls. That just sounds like my fiance. Yeah, I got all those. All right. So if I'm the Deborah Burton, your personal opinion, but you call agents devils and you don't believe in prayer. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. I can't make it make sense because none of this makes sense to me. Deborah, I'm sorry. I did not mean to offend or hurt, or attack anything. I'm just, and I do believe that these people are demons, and I believe these people are evil. Um, and it's just, and I've become very jaded over the years. My faith in, I hate to say it, but my faith in God is gone. Um, because I mean, I have my reasons for it, but anyways, my faith has been completely destroyed, and I'm sorry you can't. That doesn't make sense. But to me, it makes sense. My faith has been destroyed. Um, my happy-go-lucky attitude has been destroyed. Uh, the old water off my back like a duck has been destroyed. Now I take it personally. Now I rather attack and destroy than have a conversation about it. I'm sorry that doesn't make sense to you, and I'm sorry that doesn't uh, and I'm glad that you still have faith, and I'm glad that doesn't make sense to you because you have faith. That's great, but not everybody's like you, Deborah. I'm sorry, but I've lost faith. Corey Copeland. Hey, Corey. Yeah, straight PTSD. You're absolutely right. Melissa, why are you so down today? I'm not down today, baby girl. I'm actually in a very good mood. Thank you, Corey. Somebody's got to pray for me because I'm not doing it for myself. I'm just trying. I'm just trying to make sure. I mean, like I said, Deborah, I did not mean to insult. I've lost my faith. Uh, my faith in God has been destroyed. I mean, and it's been destroyed by these devils or these evil beings that out here trying to take children. And I'm one of the lucky ones. I got my child back. So I mean, my world is all rainbows and unicorns. I can go through this comment list and tell you that my life is a million times better than a lot of these people on here. I mean, that's just facts. I actually feel guilty for me getting my daughter back. I literally do feel guilty. Mr. Tiny Animal Family, who are you? My name is Mike Bartz. I stopped watching for a while now. That's funny. You didn't stop watching this show because this is a brand new show. This is actually my third, fourth show. So I know you didn't stop watching this show. Now that I'm back, I'm seeing new faces. Just curious. I hope that answered your questions, my tiny animal family. I understand. It happened to me. I lost faith, and this is from Deborah. I understand. It happened to me. I lost faith and was ready to battle my faith. Um, ready for a battle. My faith is the size of a mustard seed. We have the kids back temporarily, but we have them. I will pray for you and love this broadcast, Marge and Doll. Thank you very much. But yeah, it's just these people will take everything from you. They'll take your faith from you. They'll take your family from you. They'll take your kids from you. They'll take your existence from you. Um, they're leeches. They destroy everything you believe and everything you had faith in. I mean, they just drain you. They really do. All right, folks. I've talked for an hour straight, and I need something to drink. My throat is ragged out. If I got to your comments, great. If I didn't, I apologize. You people are fantastic. I love you. Subscribe, hit like, hit the notification bell, all that good stuff. I appreciate it if you would. If you know, there's really not much I can ask from you. I mean, spread the word, tell everybody what's going on out there, whether they're involved with CPS or not. Tell them, my God, stop these people and tell them and just ask them, do you know what CPS is doing? Do you know what they're doing? I mean, they're taking 500 up towards 500,000 children a year are being taken by CPS. And that's across the United States. Come on, people. We got to spread the word. Because if they don't know, they don't know. That's it. I mean, that's just it. But anyways, it's the end of my show. Love y'all. I'm glad y'all showed up. I really appreciate all the comments. Corey, thank you. My tiny family, animal family, thank you. Deborah, thank you. Amanda, thank you. Irma, thank you for saving me with my microphone. Brittany, Kelvin, thank you very much. We are all human, thank you. Lori, Brian, Tracy, the 3-name person. You got 3 names? That's really cool, though. Brittany, thank you. Amanda, thank you. Deborah, thank you. Irma, again, thank you for the microphone thing. Ted, thank you. But anyways, God bless. See y'all later. Grace, can you start my music, please? I'm out of here.